Hello and welcome to this episode of the St. Baldrick's Impact Series. Today we'll speak with Edward Logan, President and CEO of Sport Clips. Founded in 1993, Sport Clips is a sports-themed hair care franchise for men and boys with nearly 1,900 locations in the US and Canada. It was the first hair care brand to have stores in all 50 states, and it was St. Baldrick's first national partner. Edward Logan grew up in the franchising and hair care business established by his father, Sport Clips founder Gordon Logan, and he was instrumental in guiding the company through the pandemic, continuing Sport Clips' legacy as a culture-driven, values-oriented family business. Edward, thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, happy to be here, Kathleen. Thanks for having me.
Glad you're here. So for those who may not be familiar with the brand, give us a quick overview of your company and what makes Sport Clips the concept unique compared to other hair care brands out there.
Yeah, we've been around almost 30 years, founded by Gordon, and we're at almost 1,900 stores now in all 50 states in Canada. The concept is unique in a few ways. Of course, there's a sports theme to Sport Clips, but really, Sport Clips was designed from the ground up to be two things. One, a great value, but with a superior four walls experience for clients from day one. And two, was specifically designed to be a franchise to empower franchisees to go out and build a life for themselves, as well as have that local presence. And the combination of those couple of things, as well as our core values that have been in place since day one, and I'm sure we'll talk about, really create a unique culture in the four walls where that stylist-client relationship can be something better than just a haircut, more of an experience.
I suspect you were one of the first companies to really bring the value of quality of life into the concept of an employment and work professional setting.
Yeah, it's so important, right? We've always felt that way. I think it's interesting that it's so much in the forefront right now because of everything going on, pandemic, post-pandemic, whatever stage we're in, and all the transition occurring right now in the labor market, et cetera. But we've always focused on culture and work-life balance and making sure people are happy where they are. I think that's indicative through our low turnover, both at the support center as well as in the stores relative to industry average. And it's so important. We don't want to be in a place, we don't want to work somewhere that we don't enjoy as well. And so that also helps us guide the culture. If it's not something I would enjoy, why would I impose that on somebody else?
Mm-hmm. So you've been with Sport Clips a long time, long before you were named CEO back in 2020. What was it like to grow up in the business you're now leading?
I grew up in hair salons and franchise even before Sport Clips. So I've always loved both of those industries. And then, of course, when Sport Clips was founded, always engaged, always involved. Did my own thing for a little while after school. Important to go out and get that different experience. I was in consulting on the management consulting side for some time, but couldn't wait to get back. I came back 12 years ago. Started out, at the bottom, operate one store, prove yourself every step of the way. Got to a place, 5 or 6 years ago, where we were able to sit down and say, okay, what does this transition plan for leadership really look like? Continued to take on a little more responsibility at a time. Became president several years ago, and then, as you mentioned, CEO. Actually officially confirmed by the board the third week of February 2020, which was right at 3 weeks before we started shutting stores down due to government mandate. So that was interesting timing for sure. I prefer to look at all the silver linings that came from it, and the opportunity to work with great teams, great franchisees, and great stylists around the country that got us through the last couple of years, really in very good shape. And we're looking forward to that return to normalcy and a lot of the strategic plans we have in place.
Mm-hmm. I can only imagine. That's quite a trial by fire, if you will, but you've had a lifetime of preparation. Did you always know that you would step into the leadership role, or did you at any time ever consider another job or career?
Yeah, well, I started in consulting, so I did something else for a while. Whether I came back to the organization or not, that was outstanding experience, right? Great way to start a career. Two things had to happen for me to be in the role I'm in today. One, I had to decide this is what I wanted to dedicate my life to. It's not a 5-year gig, not a 3-year gig, and certainly long-term type of thinking. It's always the way Sport Clips has been, and it's the way we want it to always be. So I had to decide that this really is what I want to dedicate my life to. And two, I had to earn it. Gordon always, I would say jokes, but not really. Got to bring something back to the business other than your last name, kid, and so it was really a very gradual process where I had to be the best candidate every step of the way, and took a lot of hard work, especially in order to go down that path reasonably quickly. So.
Mm-hmm. So you spoke a moment ago about your company values and how it's important to create the kind of environment that you want to be in. But I know that for your team that really lives those values, giving back is a cornerstone as well. Why is that important to your team and to you as its leader? Why is giving back so central to you?
I think it's like any culture. It's been that way from ground zero. It's been woven into the culture from day one. It's always been something that we focused on. Obviously, when we were very young and very small, that was much more local and maybe regional at the time. And as we've gotten larger, we've had the fortunate opportunity to scale those philanthropic efforts and do things with national partners like St. Baldricks. And that feels good. It gives us purpose. Sport Clips is much more than a spreadsheet to us. It's our life. It's our family. And so it has to maintain that purpose. It has to be something deeper than, it has to be an experience and much more than just a haircut for the client, but it's got to be much more than just a job for a stylist. It's got to be much more than just a financial statement for a franchisee. And the support center has to be aligned around a deeper purpose. And so we do it because it's the right thing to do. We do it because we're passionate about it. But there are also compounding benefits throughout the culture. And it's literally just who we are. It's just deeply ingrained in our culture.
So I attended your national huddle in 2016 to help kick off our partnership. And I watched you and Gordon and about, I think it was 130 other people shave their heads all at the same time. And that was incredible. Tell me what you remember from that day.
Yeah, I looked better bald than I expected to. I was a little nervous about that. I'd never done that before. But what I remember about that day is, and that kicked off, that was effectively the kickoff for our St. Baldricks partnership. That was the purpose of that event. We wanted to raise some money for St. Baldricks as part of that. We were able to raise over $100,000 that day, which was fantastic, right? We loved being able to kick off, day one, being able to do that right off the bat. I remember that it created a lot of energy and momentum through the system. They got that partnership going, got people excited about it. We tend to have very long-term partnerships and relationships. We don't jump from philanthropy to philanthropy. So that really introduced St. Baldricks as one of the anchors of our philanthropic focuses, which is always focused around veterans and or kids. It's kind of our philanthropic focus, and especially when those two things can intersect, and sometimes they do. So yeah, that was just a high energy day. It was a lot of fun. We had a lot of excitement around it. That kicked off our partnership, and I know we're about to talk about it, but we're excited to keep that going.
I remember also the little boy who was the son of one of your stylists, and he was, I'm going to say maybe about 4 years old, and he was a cancer survivor. And the fact that he was there and alive and healthy and able to participate and help shave Gordon's head, that was so inspiring to everybody. And I remember many a tear being shed over that. And it was so poignant because it was right there in front of us what the partnership was designed to do, and to make sure that there were more moments like that for more kids.
Yeah, it's it really when it hits home, it hits home. Someone who a stylist who was local to that area at the time had the child who was dealing with cancer and in the process of becoming a cancer survivor. And when you're able to contribute to a cause, it's great. But when you have people in your organization that it directly impacts, really brings it home. It's a really tangible example. And of course, you love to help anybody, but when you can help people who are part of the organization and who have relationships and networks through the organization, it's even that much more impactful. So that was a really powerful moment and experience, and humbling in and of itself.
Mm-hmm. And fast forward, that was 6 years ago, but now today we've just renewed our partnership for another 3 years. And Sport Clips has made a very generous $1 million commitment, another $1 million commitment. And I can't thank you enough for the continued partnership and generosity we receive from your team.
Yeah, we are very excited about it. We think St. Baldricks is a great cause, great partner. I'm very excited to collaborate on more exposure for the cause. We've got this event coming up where we're going to kick off the new partnership and get that energy, get that momentum again. And it's perfect timing coming out of the pandemic, coming out of the last couple of years. In that return to normalcy. I think that's a journey and not an end state, right, in the world at this point from a macro perspective. But in that journey back to normalcy, perfect timing to go out and do this, recreate that energy, get the momentum again, and be able to support such a great cause.
If you're just joining us, we're speaking with Edward Logan, President and CEO of Sport Clips. So, Edward, how do your stylists get involved in St. Baldrick's, and what do you think it means for them to have that experience?
Yeah, there are lots of ways to get involved. We had pre-pandemic had been having head shaving events in stores, and a lot of that's franchisee driven or manager driven. What we're looking to do to make it even easier and even more woven into our culture, St. Baldrick's specifically, we're looking to do an in-store event, probably June, but sometime this summer most likely. Where it's actually a more national in-store program, in-store event, where we can bring awareness to St. Baldrick's and get managers and stylists around the country consistently involved in the same way versus more independent events like we had been doing before. So trying to consolidate some of those efforts, more consistent program, more national exposure for St. Baldrick's. And we see that as taking the great engagement we had before and continuing to scale that, continuing to get more exposure, continuing to help stylists give back in their own ways related to the cause.
I think it means a great deal to be able to work for a brand that cares about causes the way Sport Clips does.
I think it's very important. It's similar to my earlier comments. It's very important to us to create a culture that we enjoy being a part of and others enjoy being a part of. And people do care about, why am I doing this? Why am I showing up to work every day? What is the deeper meaning of the company? And are we contributing to something more than a financial statement, right? And in our case, we spend a lot of energy and effort making sure that's the case. And yes, I think it happens to have a lot of great benefits in terms of being the employer of choice and attracting and retaining great talent, which is literally our number one job. But it's also just the right thing to do. So when those two things fit together, that's really fantastic. But yeah, that deeper meaning, the causes we support, people do care. It matters. And it also attracts not just people in general, but it attracts the type of people who care about those things, which further supports and reinforces our culture. Same values attract same values. And so that just continues that perpetual flywheel, continues the momentum of attracting the right people, keeping the right people, and therefore reinforcing the culture and that focus on deeper purpose and meaning and philanthropic causes that we started a long time ago and now has a lot of internal momentum just on an ongoing basis because of the people in the organization.
So you have a special Shave the Day event planned for your upcoming National Huddle in May. What's happening then? Go ahead and give it a plug.
We do. We're doing 2016 2.0. Going to go ahead and do another live head shaving event. I will be on stage rapidly becoming hairless myself. And we're going to raise some money, but really it's more about kicking off that new partnership again, getting the energy going again, and getting into an ongoing cycle of continuing events, the store level client facing event this summer, some of the other things that stylists and managers and franchisees are going to want to be a part of locally, and getting that juice flowing again, right? Getting the creative juices flowing again, and getting that momentum going again post pandemic. Yeah, that's what it's really about. We're excited about it. It's going to be in Nashville at our national convention. We're going to have over 3,000 people there, almost a couple thousand of which are store level managers, about 400 of which are franchisees, some supplier partners, really, really diverse group. and very store focused. So it's the right group. We're going to have a lot of fun with it. We're also going to raise some money, and we're going to kick off that new partnership.
Thank you for that. It sounds exciting. And I know that your team has had something in its sights for a while. The Guinness record for the most heads shaved at one time is 329. And I think that's something that one day you hope to beat. Is that true?
Somewhere around May 1st, 2023. And it's not a hope, it's an expectation that the team has been informed. So this year, we're not going to do it. We're not going for volume this time. We're going for the energy, kicking off the partnership again, and focusing on that. We didn't want to dilute the true purpose with trying to do a record at the same time. But we are planning ahead and making sure all the pieces are in place to be able to achieve that at our 2023 national convention, National Huddle. And I fully expect that record will be broken at that time.
Well, that is something to look forward to, and we'll be very excited. And I think I want to say thank you, because I think that will rally a lot of other St. Baldrick's volunteers to want to step up as well. So that sounds exciting. We are so glad that volunteers are coming back in droves. Events are returning post-pandemic. And I want to thank Sport Clip Stylists for always being there for us. But I think you also have something coming up for your clients, don't you?
We do. We have an in-store event we're planning, again, probably June or sometime in the summer for sure. Some details still being worked out, but having an opportunity for clients to engage, for clients to volunteer to have their heads shaved in show of support, having an opportunity to contribute directly to the cause. It'll be a fundraising based event, and similarly getting that exposure to the clients. Clients also want to do business with organizations who care about their local communities and give back, and we do a lot of that. So this is just one opportunity to show them that about Sport Clips, but also engage them with St. Baldricks, which is a really, really popular cause, but not everybody's had the opportunity to be directly involved. So we're doing that to get some exposure and give clients the opportunity to be involved as well.
Well, we can't wait to see how your plans unfold. And Edward, thank you for your leadership, and again for championing this cause within the Sport Clips family and beyond, and for sharing your time with us today. I want to thank you personally for your partnership and setting an example of leadership and philanthropy, not only within Sport Clips, but for other companies too. You're making a real impact, and you are conquering kids' cancer.
We're just happy to be a part of it and support such a great cause. Kathleen, appreciate your leadership and everything y'all are doing.
Well, from all of us at the St. Baldrick's Foundation and Sport Clips, thank you for joining us today and for helping give kids with cancer a lifetime.